Hi, I'm Cody.
I'm Jess.
We're the DVC disclaimers, and you made it to the next video. We're going to talk.
Hope they're watching.
I think if they're not watching, then I can't make them prove that they're not watching. But
Right.
we're going to talk today about some misconceptions about Disney Vacation Club.
Sounds good. I'm ready. Okay, so when we were thinking of ideas for our next video, we talked about some misconceptions that we had actually about Disney Vacation Club and some things that we've heard from other people. So that's kind of where we wanted to go with this one. If you're at the point where you're like, I think I really want to do Disney Vacation Club, you need to know the reality of what it is going in. So I think starting off, the first big misconception is the I can't afford it.
Right.
I will say that it is an investment, and typically your down payment is your biggest, thing that you have to come up with up front.
Unless you're paying it in full to begin with, right?
Right. You can pay it in full. You can finance through Disney, and the amount that you do for your down payment depends on your credit, depends on if you're financing for 5 years or for 10 years. But it is something that can be affordable if you get the correct amount of points. If you're not going overboard with the points, it definitely, that's what we did.
Sure.
We kept it pretty modest, and it works for us.
And keep in mind your budget of how often you're going to go, because your points do roll over. And if you're going to purchase more points than you're going to need possibly every other year, then it might not be affordable for you.
Right.
So that's another thing to keep in mind. Now, the second misconception that we had that nobody ever mentioned online.
Yeah, we didn't know this until you called, I think.
Ever.
Right?
Our agent that we talked to was the only person that ever told us this, and this is after we had already decided, okay, we've drank the Kool-Aid, we are in for Disney Vacation Club, and she said, you don't have to buy 100 points to start. You can buy as low as 50 points to begin your Disney Vacation Club
Disney
membership. So if you purchase directly from Disney, one thing to keep in mind, if you purchase less than 75 direct points from Disney, you will not be eligible for membership perks.
And that's one of the big things that people like about Disney Vacation Club, are those membership extras.
That may be a big deal, but again, if affordability is your thing and you want to just go down to the 50 points, that is your low buy-in. So keep that in mind, that really that can help you a lot with your affordability.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to pay all at once, obviously, but if you want to renew and get more points added on, you can go as low as 25 points when you add on. That you will have to pay all at once.
If it's only 25.
Yeah, if it's only 25. But if you do 50 or more, you can finance again.
Yeah.
And if you've been a Disney Vacation Club for a member for a year or more, they won't have to run a credit check again, and they can just do a quick transaction there. So that's a good thing to know about. So we'll go on to our third point today.
I think the third thing, and this was something I was kind of confused about when we were getting into it and we were having to look at where do we want our home resort. In my mind, I was thinking to myself, well, that's where we're going to be staying. That's the only place we can really stay. And that's not true. That's a common misconception.
Right now, our home resort is the Polynesian, so if that were the only place that we were going to stay, I'd be fine with that. But
it's important to know, as far as timeshares go, this is the most flexible one that I've ever
definitely
seen or learned about. And You can stay at any DVC property and any Disney property and even use your points for the cruise lines too.
Sure.
The one major thing that you get with staying at your home resort is that you can book your vacation 11 months in advance.
Right. If
So
you
you
stay,
get that priority.
if you stay at another resort, it's 7 months.
Right. So that is a perk. And, you know, I know for us with the Polynesian, that tends to be a busier resort and the rooms book up quickly.
Super quick.
So, you know, us having that advantage, we really love the Polynesian. So that was definitely a perk. But it's nice to know that if we want to go somewhere else or stay somewhere else, if it's a year where we don't have as many points left for the year or something like that, we can stay at a different resort and we can probably make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely helps with your vacation planning is to know that you can stay at something that doesn't cost you as many points. So if you want to blow out most of your points right now, you can go later on in the year and do a little bit lesser of a vacation.
Oh, and time of year affects it too, because
Absolutely.
if you're going during the holidays, you know, you may only have enough points to stay for 1 or 2 nights versus if you're going at a different time of the year where it's not as busy and the points aren't as high per night, you can stay for a week.
Sure.
So, you know, that's the nice part is you can really customize it, and being able to stay at places other than your home resort is a huge perk to me.
I actually have to cough. Hang on.
That was lovely.
Yeah, I do well. One of the misconceptions is because of the other timeshares that exist out there, won't name any names, but the issue that you run into is that you use them or lose them. This is your time. If you don't use it, you lose it. That is not the case for Disney Vacation Club. And what they have is a bank and borrow system. So we can bank the points that we don't use this year and add them to our vacation next year. And if during next year we decide, you know what, we want to go crazy, we can even borrow from the following year. And that gives you 3 years worth of points potentially at once. But one thing to keep in mind too,
keep rolling over.
they don't keep rolling over. They roll over 1 year and that's it.
Yeah. It'd
But
be nice if they kept rolling over.
well, dare to
I'd
dream.
stay for like a month.
Dare to
Disney. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd retire there. But if you bank your points, you get to the end of the upcoming year and you notice that you're not going to be using the points like you thought you would, you can go out there on Facebook and find a Disney Vacation Club site or something like that where they'll have somebody that you can find that will want to rent your points from you.
We did this,
And
actually.
yeah, we had somebody who contacted us that wanted to stay at Aulani in Hawaii.
Yep.
And they wouldn't have been able to really afford it otherwise. So what they did was they paid me. I gave them a number that I
had to make the reservation.
yeah, I did research. I found out the standard pricing per point to rent out to somebody this year, and I went a little bit under that because, you know, there's no middleman. There's no reason for me to charge out the wazoo for that, but she gave me money via PayPal. I called and made the reservation. I said that it was me gifting a reservation to a friend. I needed to give their address, their phone number, and their names and ages, and that was it. They are set to go, and we hope that they have a lot of fun. So keep in mind, you are not stuck with a use them or lose them. You have an extra year to bank your points and hold on
and that's
to them.
something to think about for your yearly dues too. If you know you're not going to be going a certain year, you can rent out your points, and that can be used to pay your dues for the year.
Absolutely.
I mean, realistically,
Yeah,
which to me is like a win-win scenario.
Absolutely. So go on to the last point, point number 5.
This was the biggest one for me and for us because we had heard different things about Disney Vacation Club, and one of the things that is a huge misconception is that you get discounts on everything.
Right.
There are a lot of great perks to being a DVC member, but that does not mean that you get discounts on everything. We do want to do a membership extras video.
Absolutely.
But I will say that our best advice is if you're going on a trip and you're a DVC member, check out that year's current list of membership extras, see what's new, see what's, available for you per park, per resort, per restaurant. I know that there are a lot of restaurants that offer a discount, but it's only for breakfast and lunch, not for dinner.
Right.
So that's, something to keep in mind. And I know a lot of the gift shops and the shops at Disney World, you do get like a 20%
Right.
discount if you're a DVC member, but that's not everywhere. We learned that the hard way in Epcot. There's a lot of stores that aren't Disney stores. They rent the space from Disney.
Yeah.
So that discount doesn't transfer.
When we were down there, it was kind of frustrating because, you know, always, if you have a Disney Vacation Club membership
Always
card,
ask, because,
keep it with you
yeah.
and say, hey, do you offer a membership? But it was kind of frustrating. There were a lot of places where we would display the card and say, no, we don't participate in that. And it's in Epcot, it's in Disney Springs, it's in places that you think would all include it.
Certain
So
stores. I mean, if it's definitely a Disney store that has ears and memorabilia,
yeah,
and
that's almost a guarantee.
That's guaranteed. But if it's a specialty store like Harley Davidson
Nothing.
or a makeup store at Disney Springs, you know, we definitely got a lot of no's. But I think it's always worth asking just in case. I know that the annual pass holders get some good discounts as well. And I've heard from different people, sometimes the annual pass holder discount can be better than your DVC discount. And that's another thing, too, about the tickets. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, there is also a discount for special event tickets, Halloween party, Christmas party, tour tickets. We're going to do the Keys to the Kingdom tour coming up here.
I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
We'll do a review on that.
I can't wait. We won't be able to photograph any of that because you're not allowed to have any cameras.
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. So there's just always ask. Anything you're going to purchase for Disney, go ahead and...
Because, I mean, worst case scenario, you'll hear a no, but, you know, we were surprised. There were a few stores that after we heard so many no's, it was kind of like, oh, okay. And then we would ask, not expecting anything, and they'd say, oh, yeah, you get a discount here. So...
Yep. You never know.
It's
always
worth asking. And I believe if you have the Disney Visa card through Chase, they also offer discounts for that. But what I've heard from people is it has to be, you have to use that credit card for that purchase, and it has to be a purchase of $50 or more.
Ooh, I believe those are the stipulations.
I've talked to a few people about that. So that's another thing too.
All right.
I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, those are our 5 misconceptions about Disney Vacation Club. Always comment below and tell us what you want to hear us talk about. Like, subscribe, share it. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at DVC Disclaimers.
And I want to give a quick shout out. The ears I'm wearing, I got from Magnificent Disney. We did an unboxing video of these. Awesome work. She's great. Definitely check her out too.
And the ears I'm wearing, I got from my parents. Tell your mom, tell your grandma, tell Mickey Mouse. Have a good night.
Thanks.